And I'm going to start by sharing my screen with you. And what we're going to look at today are a variety of hands that require careful handling of the trump suit. So on some hands, you can just, draw trumps, and other hands, you delay drawing trumps for some reasons. And some of these hands that we're going to look at look like hands where maybe you could draw trumps, but you sometimes have to be a bit careful about that. So let's start with this hand, which was the one I sent out in this week's uh, weekly email at the weekend. And this is one where you open a balanced 2-no trump, 20 to 22 points. Your partner bids Stayman 3 clubs. And East, if they overcall 3 hearts, now you have to think about what to bid. If you didn't have any 4-card major, you wouldn't have to bid there. You could pass and see what your partner wanted to bid. But here you have a 4-card spade suit, so you show that, and you end up in what looks like a good contract of 4 spades. The opponents lead a heart, and down comes dummy. And as usual in a suit contract, you should start off by counting your potential losers. So that's what I'd like you to do for the first poll question. How many potential losers do you think you have here? Let me launch that first poll. Have a look at the results. And the vast majority have gone for 3, with a small number saying 4 or 5. And perhaps I should have just made it a little bit clearer what I meant. Because once you see dummy and I ask you for how many losers you've got, you should look at your hand and dummy together. So I didn't mean just in the south hand. So if you look at the spade suit, should be no losers there. We've got all the top spades, but we're in danger of losing 2 hearts. We can ruff after that, and we're missing the ace of diamonds. And no club losers. So it looks like we should have 3 losers. Yes, I agree with you. And let's see how this goes. So they lead a heart, which is what you would expect. East wins the jack and plays another heart back. And if East now plays a 3rd round of hearts, you should realize that you're in distinct danger of West ruffing here, based on the lead and based on the overcall. West could well be out of hearts here. So you should ruff high with the ace, king, or queen. And we're going to have a look at this hand played in a couple of different ways. But let's suppose you start off by drawing trumps. You had 8 trump here, so you'd expect them to go in 3 rounds. So if you start off with the ace, the king, and then draw the last round of trump, you're okay now. All the trumps have gone, but the problem is that when you now play the diamonds, you won't be able to ruff any more hearts. So if you play a diamond, they might let that one go. But if they take the second one, and if he now switches back to a heart, you've now run out of trump. You've got no trump in the south hand, and so the opponents take another trick. After this, if we bring up the 4 hands, you're going to make the rest, because if they play another heart, you can ruff that one in dummy, and then you've got good clubs and the king of diamonds. But if you play it that way, you will be held to 9 tricks there if the opponents keep plugging away at hearts, forcing you to ruff there. What could you do differently on this? Well, you have to realize that although you can ruff in the south hand, you're a little bit vulnerable. And it's a good idea here to establish the diamond suit early on. So let's play this hand again as it was. And you ruff that one again, and you start by cashing the ace of spades. Now, you can afford to play another round of spades, but you must keep the king in the south hand because you may need to ruff with that high at some point. So you can draw a second round of trump, but then you have to stop. You have to stop and instead try to establish the diamond suit while you still have a trump in the south hand, so that when they win the ace, if they attack hearts, you'll be able to ruff. And of course, you want to ruff high if that happens. So there are a variety of ways of playing this hand, but you can safely draw two rounds of trumps and then stop while you still have a trump in the south hand. Now, playing diamonds here when there's still a trump out is a risk that you'll suffer a ruff here at some point, but it's if you don't do that, then you could easily lose another heart trick. So if you keep playing diamonds, East eventually will take their ace, and if they decide to play another heart here, you've still got the king, a high trump, so you can ruff with that. And now there's still a trump, so a trump out, so you want to get to dummy. You can do that with the king of clubs, draw the last trump, and then you'll be able to make the rest of the tricks with king of diamonds there. So yes, you should really just have those three losers, but it needs a bit of care in keeping your one round of trump back so that you can ruff if the opponents lead another heart there. Any comments or questions on that? Let's try another one. This time you open a spade. It goes two hearts, two spades, three hearts, and you have a very nice hand there with 17 points. I think I'll go for four spades here. You might think about three spades, by the way, although your partner may not think that's necessarily inviting game, but that's just competing. So anyway, you bid four spades, and the opponents lead the king of hearts. And again, we're going to stop to make a plan and think about our potential losers. So I'll do this here. If we look at the spade suit, we're not going to lose any spades there. We've got one heart to lose. We're going to lose two diamonds, the ace and the king, but no clubs. So again, this looks like we should be in good shape here, losing just one heart and two diamonds. And again, we'll look at this being played two different ways. Let's suppose they win the king of hearts and carry on with another heart, which you ruff. Now, we're going to, let's suppose you decide to draw trumps now. So that's one spade has gone. Let's play another round. Everyone follows to that. And we play another round, but East discards. So there's still one trump out. And let's suppose you decide to draw it. Okay, that's all the trumps gone. Now we're going to cash our clubs, and we need to play our diamonds to set up diamond tricks there. So if we play a diamond and they win with the king, suppose they come back with a heart, well, we can ruff that one, but we still haven't established a diamond suit. So if we play another round of diamonds and they win that and play another heart, then we're unable to ruff in the south hand. We've run out of trumps, and we can just discard something, but will be defeated. Whatever they play now, if they play another heart, we can ruff that in the north hand and claim the rest, but we'll only make 9 tricks on that one if we play it that way. So again, this was what happened. Even though we had such lovely trumps in the south hand, we ran out of trumps. And the key on this hand is to look at the diamond suit and to realize that we're going to lose the lead twice when we play diamonds, and therefore we need to keep 2 trump in the south hand to be able to ruff with. So let's play this again as we did before. We rough that first one. We draw one round of trumps and we draw another round of trumps. We get the news about the bad break. But now, because we will need to lose the lead twice when we play diamonds, we should keep two spades in the south hand to ruff with, or we won't be able to ruff if they keep plugging away at hearts. So we'll turn our attention now to diamonds. They get in. If they play a heart back, we can ruff. And we still haven't established a diamond, so we need to play that again. If they get in and play another heart, we now can ruff with our last trump. And now we don't have any more losers there. We've just got clubs. We just need to draw the last trump now. So we might cross to dummy with the queen of clubs, draw that last trump, and then we've got good clubs and the diamonds good as well. So played that way, we should manage 10 tricks there, just losing 2 diamonds and 1 heart. You could also play this in almost the same way. You could attack the diamonds earlier on, and that would go something like this. You would play the diamonds early on before you touch trump and let them take their diamonds. If they play hearts, we can ruff. We need to play another diamond. And if they keep playing hearts, we'll be able to ruff. And now we're in good shape. We'll do almost what we did before. Now we can just draw the remaining trumps and we've got good clubs and diamonds. So you can do it in different orders, but you can't draw all the trumps. And the key thing here is to notice that you may lose the lead twice in diamonds. You're missing the ace and the king. So in this situation, it's very advisable to try and keep 2 spades in the south hand. Any questions? Let's try another one. And here's another one. You've got 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 spades, and the opponents lead the ace of hearts, and down comes dummy, and you need to stop to make a plan on this one. And I'd like you to think about your potential losers here. And let's suppose the opponents start off with the ace and king of hearts, and they now turn their attention to diamonds. And let's suppose we win that one with the ace of diamonds. I've now got the second pole of the evening for you. You've just gained the lead with the ace of diamonds. And which suit do you think you should play now? Which suit do you think Declarer should play at trick 3? Can't do anything for you.
I just see what I should have done. No.
That's all right. You're probably in good company. What did you do? What did you vote for, Roz?
I thought it would be safe to do the clubs. However, I could see that one of them could trump in at that point.
Yeah.
One of them might be out of clubs. Am I right?
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look. No, you're right to think about it. Yes, that's right. So actually, most people have gone for clubs rather than spades. And although it was right on the earlier hands, sorry, let me find the right. It was right on the earlier hands to do that. Playing clubs here before you've drawn trumps is a slight risk. And what you need to ask yourself is, should I draw trumps now? Is there any advantage? Well, here, I think I'll be able to draw trumps, and I only need, as long as I've got, a trump left, and the opponent's lead even if the opponents lead a heart, I'll be able to ruff. So here there's no need to delay drawing trumps. And generally speaking, you should draw trumps if you can, unless there's some reason to delay it. And it works out better here just to draw trumps. Yes, I would play spades here. Let's draw the opponent's trumps. They fall in 3 rounds, but I've still got trump left in both hands actually to ruff if they play a heart. So I can now afford to play a club here, keep playing clubs until I force out the ace. And there's nothing the opponents can do here. If they play a diamond, I can win the king there. And now because my clubs are established, I'll be able to discard my last diamond on the club. And played that way, I will make 10 tricks there. If I play it the way some of you were perhaps thinking of it, let's see how that goes. The problem with that in playing clubs before you've drawn trump is you're risking a ruff, and that could happen in this kind of layout. This is the same hand, but what we're going to do is instead of drawing trumps right away, if we try to play clubs here, the opponent's, if he ducks and then takes the second one, he can actually give his partner a ruff and we can be defeated. So it's generally speaking, it's better to draw trump if you can, but the hands that we looked at earlier are ones where it's a good idea to be careful about how you draw them, and you may need to keep some trumps before you establish a side suit. So it's all about sometimes establishing a side suit before you draw trumps, but not in this case. In this case, that was unnecessary. You can afford to draw trumps and still establish the suit. So just to look at the analysis of this, we have 2 heart losers, a diamond loser and a club loser. But you can see in the club situation, we'll be able to play 4 rounds of clubs and discard 1 loser on that, which is how we can make 10 tricks here. But you really want to draw trumps first here if you can. Sometimes I'm watching people play and I'm sort of thinking, why aren't they drawing trumps? And I'm wishing they would draw trumps. But anyway, let's try another hand here. And we're going to start with a bidding problem here. South opens 1 spade here. You as North respond South opens 1 heart. You as North respond 1 spade. And South now rebids 2 diamonds. And the third poll of the evening is, what do you think North should bid here? Have a little think about it. And here comes the poll. What do you think North should bid with this hand? There are quite a lot of choices, so you may need to scroll down to see your choice. Have a look at the results. And what have we got? The most popular response is 3 hearts there with 39%, followed by 2 no trump, 3 diamonds was popular, 3 no trump, 4 diamonds as well. So choices for many things, 3 hearts or 2 no trump were the most popular responses. And let's see what we think. Well, your partner here has bid 2 suits. They bid hearts followed by diamonds. So that should indicate that they started with 5 hearts and 4 diamonds, at least 5 hearts and at least 4 diamonds. So even though your diamonds are better than your hearts, your partner's bidding should indicate that you have an 8-card fit in hearts. And that will be my choice, to support my partner's hearts. Now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that would suggest I bid something like 3 hearts there. And in a situation like this, as well as counting your points, 3 hearts would show something like 10 to 12 points. You can also look at your losers because you're going to be playing in a heart suit here. And if I count my losers, I've got 3 spades, 3 hearts at 6, and 2 diamonds, 7, 8. That's using the losing trick count. So 8 losers, yes, that confirms it's a medium hand. A minimum would be 9 losers, or with 7 losers, I might go straight to game. But yes, I agree with those of you who chose 3 hearts there. And you want to be in a major suit, even though you've got perhaps a better fit in diamonds. So yes, I think you should bid 3 hearts here, and you do bid 3 hearts, and your partner takes you to 4 hearts, and the opponents here lead the king of spades. And I'd like you to, again, think about here how many potential losers you have. So you look at your hand, you look at dummy, and try and work out how many likely losers you think you have here. Here comes the next poll. And most of you have gone for 3. That's 73%, with some votes for 4, 2, and 5. And let's switch back and see what we think. Well, we've got a spade to lose. Hopefully no more than that if we're able to ruff. In hearts, we would expect to lose 1 trick there. We've got an 8-card fit. So unless we get bad distribution, we should only lose 1 trick there. So 1 spade, 1 heart, and we've got 1 diamond to lose, the ace. So yes, I agree with most of you. It looks like we should have just 3 losers here. And when this hand was played in hearts, a lot of people did make it, but quite a few people managed to go down in a variety of ways. So let's have a look at this. They lead a spade, and if they carry on with another spade, we ruff. And we're going to, at some point, play the diamonds here. But first, we're going to start drawing trumps. And we cash the ace and the king. Everyone follows. So there's 1 high trump out, queen. And in those situations, it's nearly always right not to draw it. Just let them win with that whenever they want. Instead, we're going to switch to diamonds. They get in with their ace. The worst they can do is to cash the queen of hearts, drawing 2 of my trump. But if they play another spade, I'll be able to ruff with my last trump. And now the rest of my hand is good. I've got good diamonds and good clubs. And I'll make my expected 10 tricks on that one. There are a number of ways that people sometimes go wrong on this hand, and let's have a look at how it might go. Again, this is the same hand where you start with the ace and king of hearts. One mistake you might make is to try to draw that last trump. Let's just see what happens if we do that. They get in, and if they play another spade, then if we want to win that now, we'll have to ruff with our last trump, and we still haven't established the diamonds. So if we now play the diamonds and they get in, they'll be able to cash a spade and again defeat me. After that, I'll gain the lead, and the rest of my hand is good. So that's one way that you could go down in that one. Another thing that sometimes people do is they have a desire to ruff those spades. And although you can ruff the spades, you're ruffing in the hand with a long trump, and it's one of the most common mistakes I see. Let's just see what happens if you try to ruff a spade, for example. So you ruff that one because they lead it. Let's suppose you cross over to a club. to lead another spade so that you can ruff that, which you've succeeded in doing that. But let's just see what happens now. If we now play the ace and king of hearts, we'll leave out the last heart. But now when we play the diamonds, they can get in and cash their queen of hearts, which gets rid of all my trump. So now they'll be able to cash a spade here. That'll be it, fortunately. After that, I'll get in and take the rest of the tricks, but I'll be held to 9 tricks there because I tried to ruff spade. So sometimes it's right to ruff in both hands, some kind of cross ruff, but not here. Generally speaking, you should be aiming, if you're going to ruff in the hand with a shorter trump suit, and keep your hand with a long trump suit preserved to draw the opponent's trumps. Let's try this last one. And here we open 1 heart. There's a 2 diamond overcall and North bids 2 hearts. And we've got a fairly minimal hand here. So that ends up being the final contract. And the opponents start off by leading the ace of diamonds. And I'd like you to think about your potential losers here. By the way, your partner had 8 points, only 3 hearts, but that was a reasonable bid, especially over the 2 diamond overcall. And I'd like you to think about your possible losers here. Think about it in terms of, if you draw the opponent's trumps, how many possible losers will you have here? And here comes the final poll of the evening. And if you draw the opponent's trumps, how many potential losers do you think you have? Let's have a look at the results. And most of you gone for 4 here, with a smaller number, 32% going for 5 and 13% going for 6. So let's switch back and see what we think. Well, let's see. In spades, we've got the ace king, but we do potentially have 2 losers in the south hand. So you might be thinking you could ruff one of those, but if you're not able to ruff one of those, you could lose 2 spades. Hearts, you've got 8 trump, missing the queen jack, so you're probably going to lose 1 there. Diamonds, you might be thinking you've only got 2 losers, but you could lose 3 tricks there. Either if they trap your queen, or if they get a ruff here, you should realize that there's a definite potential of them ruffing here. So I think the answer is 6. You have 6 potential losers here, 3 diamonds, a heart, and 2 spades. So let's see how we might play this. I think my thoughts here are that I'm going to try to avoid 2 spade losers by ruffing 1 in dummy. So let's see how it goes. They take their ace. East plays the 8 there, which looks ominously encouraging. Presumably he's got a doubleton. Plays the king. Now plays a 7. And they play the 9, and he's able to ruff my queen. So I've lost 3 tricks there. And now he turns his attention to clubs, which I win. And I've got a similar situation to an earlier hand where I've got the ace and king of hearts. See what happens if I start by cashing the ace and the king of hearts. And the hearts don't divide, so there's still 1 high trump out there. But I'm going to keep that 7 of hearts. Hopefully I'll be able to ruff a spade there. So if I now play the ace and another spade, I might now play another spade, hoping to get a ruff. But the problem will happen if West wins that. And if I bring up the 4 hands, if West wins that, West can now draw my last trump with the queen. And now I won't be able to do any roughing. Sorry, let me bring up all four hands. So they've drawn the last trump from the north hand, and I'm left with a spade loser. So they can now cash a spade. And played that way, I will only make 7 tricks. Yes, I lost 6 tricks there. Was there anything I can do about that? Well, the key is to thinking about the spade situation and thinking that you really want to be able to prevent the defense doing what they did there. And the way you can do that, given that you're going to lose one spade trick, is to lose it early on. So let's play it as they did before. They take 2 rounds of diamonds, they ruff a third round, they play a club. And now, before I touch trumps, I'm going to give up a spade. And that allows you to keep control of the spades later on. So if they now say play a spade, I can now win that. I'm going to draw 2 rounds of trumps, just as I did before, with the ace and king, leave the last high trump out, but now I'll always be able to ruff a spade in dummy. So I'll play the king here and play the last spade, and I'll be able to ruff that. If, by the way, West had ruffed that with the queen, that's fine. They're always going to make that one trick, but otherwise I'm going to ruff it, and then I've got 2 of the last 3 hearts left. West going to win their queen. So that was one involving something we talked about in another lesson. When you need to lose a trick, it's often a good idea to lose it early, and that's the case here in the spade suit. Anyway, that's the end of the talk today. If you are playing in the game, it's opened up now. You can join that now, and I'll stop sharing my screen with you. If you need a partner for the game, just join the game and sit at the table and call me over, and I'll come and find a partner for you. Okay? So thank you all very much. And I'll see you online. I hope some of you
Bye-bye.
in a few minutes, in about 7 minutes. Bye, everyone.